Bringing people and communities together on seclosounds.org.
Your listening station.
On the show this week, I speak to a guest who's going to tell us all about Berlin, and also I'm replaying an interview I did about the Indian state of Karnataka. And of course there's travel news. That's all coming up on the Guinn Travel Show on seclosounds.org. Hello and welcome to the Guinn Travel Show on seclosounds.org. Welcome to another edition of the Travel Show. In a moment I'll be speaking to Christian from the Berlin Tourist Board about what this city has to offer, and that's followed by a chat I did last year with a Minister of Tourism from Karnataka, a state in southern India, to find out what's on offer there. And of course there'll be some travel news, including a couple of stories about flights that got diverted because of passenger behaviour. But first, as I said, I'm speaking to Christian from Berlin. This interview was recorded over Skype just before my computer fell over completely, and I had to use my mobile phone to do it, so the audio gets a little bit scratchy. I apologise by that, but there's some good information. I never knew there was 187 different nationalities living in Berlin. I thought London was quite cosmopolitan, but Berlin's certainly giving it a run for its money. And we talk about various bits and pieces about what there is to offer, and how long and how far away it is. So let's get on with it. Here's my chat with Christian. How far away is Berlin from London?
Around 1,000 kilometers, means around 600 miles.
Okay. If we was to fly over to Berlin from the UK, which of your airports is the closest to the city centre?
The most close airport to the city centre is Tegel, and it's only 15 minutes by taxi from the city centre. And the flight time from London to Berlin is around 1 hour 45.
As you're only in Europe, how long would it take if we was to go there by train?
Oh, if you go by train, you have to go from the main train station, from St. Pancras to the main train station in Berlin, and that will take you around 10 hours via Brussels and with the Eurostar.
I think I'll stick to flying then. That's definitely quicker.
Yes, it's definitely quicker, yeah.
Berlin's a very historical city. What is the brief history of it?
I think the most important thing about Berlin's history is the division of the city, and of course the reunification of the city. Because this year we celebrate the 25th anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall, and this is the main topic this year.
Is there any of the wall still left?
Yes, of course. We have several parts of the wall. We have, for example, the northern part, which is really the original setting, because the wall is not only one wall. It's a system of defense or protection, how the East German said. It's two walls, and there's a death strip in the middle. So there's a rest part of it you can see, which is really very, very interesting. But we also have the longest part in the southeast of the city, which is called East Side Gallery, which is the world's biggest street painting. So you have a colored wall, which more than 100 artists painted after the wall came down.
What does the painting show?
Very, very different ideas, imaginations, dreams about the war, but also about living without any frontiers, about freedom, the whole range, I would say, around a peaceful revolution.
Okay. Moving on to the area covered by Berlin, how many districts make up the city?
We have 12 districts, and they're divided in sub-districts. So if you talk to Berlin people, they will say, for example, oh, you go to Kreuzberg, which is a part of Friedrichshain-Kreuzberg, or you go to to Prenzlauer Berg, which is part of Prenzlauer Berg and Wedding. So it's mixed.
Is there any part of the city which is rarely visited by tourists?
Rarely visited,
Yeah.
or highly visited.
Rarely to start with. Is there a bit that's not as popular as the rest?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, for example, Spandau or Köpenick are districts which are really nice, and they have some historic centers, but they're not so much visited. Yes.
So which one is the most popular and why?
Pardon?
Which district is the most popular then, and why is it the most popular?
I would say if you see it in a touristic aspect, the most popular district is Mitte, because, for example, the Brandenburg Gate, our main landmark, is located in Mitte. A lot of young people like to go to Kreuzberg or Friedrichshain because that's the party miles.
We've done the most popular and the least popular districts, but taking all the districts together, what do they offer a visitor from the UK?
I would say the historical part of the city is mainly in the district Mitte, but if you want to go, for example, for cafes, restaurant, and nice shopping, you can go to Prenzlauer Berg, for example, or you go to Friedrichshain. If you really like historical sites like castles and so on, you go to Charlottenburg, and they have also very nice museums, and of course the Palais of Charlottenburg. And if you want to shop until you drop, you go to Kurfürstendamm or Friedrichstraße.
Gary Fitz here, every Monday, 10 o'clock.
Coming up, we've got Eric and Ernie.
Join me here on Seclo Sounds.
In your smile. It's from 1975. Eric and Ernie were four.
Gary, it's not Eric and Ernie, it's Earl and Ernie, the Cape Brothers, Union Man.
Oh, I see.
Gary Fitz here, every Monday, 10 o'clock.
Earl and Ernie.
You're listening to the John Guinn Travel Show on seclosounds.org. Still to come on the travel show, travel news about two different incidences about airplanes being diverted because of passenger behaviour, and of course what there is to know about Karnataka. But at the moment I'm still speaking to Christian about Berlin. Sounds a great city. I always wished I'd visited when it was divided, which is another example of using somebody's home as like a zoo type theme fun park thing where you're going to look and gawp at how people are living. But now, happily, the city's as one again, so I need to get over for that. I did have some preconceived ideas about Berlin, basically based on 1960s spy films and one or two films like Cabaret, but Christian's put me straight about that, and is now going to talk a little bit more about the city. How easy is it to get around to see all these?
Very easy, because we have a very good public transport system. We have a metro, we have trams, we have regional trains, and you can all use them with one ticket, which is very easy to access.
How expensive are your cabs if somebody doesn't want to take the train?
Yeah, if you don't take the train and you don't buy this Berlin Welcome Card, for example, which offers you the whole range of public transportation and special discounts for museums, restaurants, and so on. If you go by taxi, for example, to go from the airport, Tempelhof, to the city center, to Brandenburg Gate, I mentioned before, it's around 15 British pounds.
Okay. What about accessibility? Is it easy to get around if you're less able to do all the walking? If you're a wheelchair user?
Yeah, it's very easy. All the museums, all the public museums, public institutions, also most of the restaurants, and also the public transportation is ready for easy access.
That's good to hear. London's not quite switched on at that at the moment.
Yeah.
What annual events are held in Berlin?
Oh, the biggest event is the New Year's Eve party, with more than 1 million visitors every year in front of the Brandenburg Gate. But we also have, Food Week, Art Week, Fashion Week, Music Week. we have every day 1,500 events in the city.
That's an awful lot, isn't it? That's a fair bit.
Sometimes you just have to decide what you do,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's not easy to decide because it's so much.
You mentioned about Meal Week. What is a traditional Berlin meal?
The traditional Berlin meal, the most well-known one, is the curry sausage, but we also eat a lot of fish, like pike perch. It's a fish from the region. We eat liver with onions, roasted onions and smashed potatoes. And we have a lot of new cuisine, like Berlin is the world capital of vegan restaurants. We have 26 vegan restaurants here. So this is right now very, very trendy.
Yeah, I'm a vegan, so that's good. I was in Germany 25 years ago, and I did struggle to find something without meat in. So it's all changed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it changed a lot. I think the gastronomy is a very good symbol for the change of the city.
If you're somebody like me who can't speak German, is it easy to get around to make yourself understood?
Yeah, especially the young people speak English, and Berlin is a very international city. We have 187 nations living here, so I think it's harder to find a real Berliner than somebody from anywhere in the world. So no problem with conversation in English.
That's good to hear. Being British, I'm very bad with second
That
languages.
is also a development of the last 25 years. Berlin became really a very cosmopolitan city, and this is a big change to the situation before the fall of the wall.
You've already said you got a lot on in the city. What's the minimum amount of time you should spend there to get the best of the city?
3 months. No,
3 months. Okay.
I would say it's a long weekend, like 3 nights, 4 nights would be convenient. To see the major sites, and then you have to come back, of course, because the city changes very fast. And to be updated, you have to come again and again and again.
What would be the best time of year to visit?
I prefer summer because everything is outside, and we have a lot of beach bars, restaurants outside. You can even take dancing classes outside. We have movie theater, a lot of things outside. And the Berliners and our visitors love to be outside. It's not too hot, but it's very, very nice and calm.
Ask you what would be the ideal length of time to spend in the city. So if you say you got 7 nights, what would you see if you stayed for 7 nights?
I would highly recommend to do a trip on a boat, and there are boats which do a circle around the city center, and you see that Berlin is very, very green, full of parks and lakes and rivers and woods. And I would highly recommend to go by bicycle. Almost 20% of our traffic is made by bicycle. You have a very easy access to cycle to the city, so you can see all the major sites. Like, first of all, to go to the Brandenburg Gate, because it's our main landmark, and it is the place, a symbol for the division and the reunification of our city. The governmental district is very interesting in terms of architecture. We have a museum island with 5 museums, very, very interesting. For example, the Nefertiti. If you want to visit the most beautiful woman from Berlin, you have to go to the new museum to visit Nefertiti. But we also have a lot of possibilities to shop, and of course nightlife and cultural life, entertainment, modern entertainment.
We've only touched briefly what Berlin has to offer. Where can we find out more about Berlin?
Yeah, there is a very good website. Visit berlin.com. There are a lot of tips. There is, for people who like blogs, a really nice blog where you can get insider tips, what you can do in Berlin, what you can find in Berlin. You also can the Berlin welcome card there, and there's an event calendar as well.
Okay, thanks, Christian. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you for choosing Berlin for your show.
This is Seklo Sounds. Join us every Wednesday at 7 p.m. for 1 hour in the company of Harry and Edna on the wireless, exploring all aspects of the vintage scene and playing tip-top gramophone tunes. Harry and Edna on the wireless, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. on seklosounds.org. Jolly good.
Hi, blessings to each and every one of you. Join me, Darren Hoy, with the Reggae Takeover Show for 2 hours of the finest reggae vibes, each and every Wednesday, 9 through to 11 p.m, here on Seklo Sounds. Don't miss out on your weekly Sunshine Fix, featuring Roots, Rude Boy, Dub, Lovers Rock, Ska, One Drop, and much, much more. So go on, give your sound system a treat. Join me, wind down low, and skank the night away. One love. That's Wednesdays, 9 through to 11 p.m, live on Seklo Sounds.
It's a top, my selector.
You're listening to the John Guinn Travel Show on seklosounds.org. One of the great things about doing this travel show is that I get to meet people and go to places I wouldn't necessarily have gone when I was just a travel agent. To be honest, my sales were never going to set the world on light, so I didn't get many perks and invites. It all went down to a night in Dover once, which was disrupted because the travel agent thought it'd be a great idea to set off the fire alarm at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I did get a great trip to the Cayman Islands for a fam trip, which is where travel agents get shown around the hotels and the attractions. And I did get a free holiday to the British Virgin Islands. But apart from that, I didn't get many invites when I was a travel agent, but now working on the travel show, I do. And one of these was to an event promoting Karnataka, which is a southern state in India. And I met somebody who was introduced to me as a Minister for Tourism for the state. And I'd never get to meet people like that. Although I did once at a British Virgin Islands evening event at their, well, I'm not sure if you call it an embassy, but anyway, they got a building in London where people who come from British Virgin Islands officially get to stay when they're in the city. And I think I was put on the wrong list because I was a travel agent at the time and I was meeting ambassadors, I was meeting people who were representing the Falkland Islands and other British overseas dependencies, and I seem to be the only travel agent there. So I think I was invited by mistake. I've never been back. But anyway, working on the travel show, I get to meet people such as the Minister for Tourism for Karnataka. And this is an interview I recorded at an event they were running in London last year. And if you picture what you think India has to offer, when I was watching the videos promoting Karnataka, I thought, wow, I did not expect India to look like that. So, if you've never heard of it, check out the website she mentions at the end of the conversation. Have a look, check it out for yourself and get a trip there. But anyway, here's the interview I recorded.
I represent Karnataka Tourism. I'm the director of the tourism department in the state from the government side. And we are here today to promote my state, Karnataka. It has a huge tourism potential. So we have all the things you want. We have the heritage, the history behind these marvelous monuments we have. We have the best of the World Heritage sites at Hampi and Pattatkal. We have the wildlife, we have adventure, and we have the hill stations, coffee plantations, and then the jungle lodges, which take you through the forest and to the safari. So we are here to explain to the tour operators and the travel operators in London about the new products we have. And one of the most important product we have is a train. It's called the luxury tourist train, the Golden Chariot. and it's a real luxury. It takes you across Karnataka in 7 days to covers all the monuments and the beaches and the wildlife. Then we also do the southern parts of India, because no other train covers the entire southern part of India. As you are aware, India is a very, very vast country. And like Rajasthan was the first state to have a palace on wheels. But now with government of Karnataka, we have started the Golden Chariot, which covers all the states like the Tamil Nadu, Pondicherry, Kerala and Karnataka. It takes you through a wonderful journey on the train. So we are here to promote the train and the jungle lodges, and of course the most important historical and World Heritage, UNESCO declared World Heritage sites here. I have a 6.5 million population, as big as Paris, so, and it's as beautiful as Paris, I would say. So we promote my state and the train, because the train cuts across the borders. So for the entire southern region of India, we promote through the train. Yeah.
How big is the state? You said you got 6.5 million people.
Yes, 6.5 million people, and we have 30 districts. If you ask me for the area, I would not really know. Need to calculate. Yes.
That's fine. Right. Is your state, as a tourist destination, is it an all-round destination, or do you need to go?
Yes. It's an all-round destination. I do not have snow, I do not have severe winter, and I can boast of the best weather. I don't wear sweaters in Bangalore and other parts of the states. It's an all-round destination. Even in monsoon, you can visit the state.
You've got beaches as well.
Yes,
How
the
good are
most
the beaches?
beautiful beaches. I think people are aware of Goa, because Goa as a destination has promoted its beaches. But we have the most beautiful unexplored virgin beaches, and some of them are very, very marvelous. And we have resorts and adventure sports like whitewater rafting. And they could also do, there's a scuba diving in one of the islands called the Netrani Islands, which I didn't know myself, but we discovered, thanks to Discovery Channel, that we discovered it. So we have all the adventure on the beaches, yes.
With the wildlife, if somebody goes to look for a tiger, how lucky will they be?
Oh yes, you have to be lucky like me, because I happened to go one of the days to the jungle lodges. Because I'm so busy with work, I don't get to travel much, but then finally I decided to go and spend 2 days, and went on a safari, and it was so real that we were going in the van, and I could spot a tiger who stood there for at least 10 minutes and crossed the road, and I was like delighted. And the driver of the safari was so excited. He said we had not spotted for 2 days, and you're so lucky you could see. So that was something amazing. Yes, you can.
Something I would like to do. I've never seen a tiger in the wild.
Oh
so
my God,
list.
then you have to come to jungle lodges to see that. Yeah.
I think I'll have to do that. You've got elephants as well.
Oh yes.
The videos you were showing, you could clean the elephants. Is that a nature reserve?
Yes, we do that. We have a jungle lodges resort in Coorg. Coorg is a destination, Dubare, where you can interact and you can clean the elephants, and children just love it. So we allow that to happen. Yes.
I would love that too.
Yeah.
If you've only got a week to spend in your state, what should a tourist do? What are the must-dos for the week?
Must do is, in a week, you can quickly do Mysore, see a palace, go to wildlife, see a tiger, then go to Hampi, that is, and see the ruins of Hampi, the World Heritage Site, and then I guess you can do a beach and come back to Bangalore and do a lot of shopping in Bangalore.
What's Bangalore like as a destination city? Is there much to do?
Yes, Bangalore is rated as number 10 cities you should visit by Lonely Planet in 2012. Yeah. Yes, 2013. Yes, it's a must visit. And Bangalore culture is so cosmopolitan, and shopping is something which you should never miss. The silk, the handicrafts, and everything you want, you get it there. Yeah.
If you're in Bangalore and you're hungry, is there any particular restaurant you would think would be a good place?
Yes, if you like the South Indian and the local cuisine, you must go to MTR, where you get the best dosas, masala dosas, and I would say that that is for the local cuisine. And some of the small eateries, like they are there everywhere in Malleshwaram and in Jayanagar. You have a dosa camp, and if you like non-vegetarian food, the biryani, the famous mouth-watering biryani. So you have quite a few which are there in Bangalore. So, and then if you love drinking beer, and you can go pub hopping. I think Bangalore is known for pubs, and the best of the pubs you have in Bangalore. Yes.
What would you say the national dish is when we're talking about food?
Okay, the dishes of Karnataka,
dish.
you have the Mysore pak. It's a sweet dish. Then you have the bisibele bath. Bisibele bath is made out of lentils and rice mixed with vegetables, and then there's a sambar and a powder which is made out of that. And then you can try the ragi ball, which is made out. Ragi is a millet. It's a brown color millet. It is made out of that. It is like a ball, and it is so easy to digest. So that is one thing. And then these are the Mysore pak, I said, bisibele bath, ragi ball, then the dosa. You should never miss a idli vada and a dosa.
Okay, what's in the dosa and idli vara? What's the ingredients?
Ingredient is rice and dal.
Okay.
Yeah, the rice and the dal is grinded together. Grinded together. It's soaked overnight, and it's grinded together, and then fermented. And next day you get those molds in which you make the idlis. And the vada is made out of again a dal. It's a white. What you call in urad dal, we call it. It's a black gram.
Okay.
It's just made out of that. Then you make it into a vada and you fry it in oil. Then you should have it with the chutney. Made out of again a coconut and a little bit of green chilies and a coriander and a particular gram put in it. So, and then the sambar, the most famous sambar. Yes.
So it's vegetarian then, really?
It's yes, and if you like non-veg food, you have to try the coastal Mangalore chicken curry, and they make the best of the chicken. They have the dry chicken or the curry chicken and the fish, the fried fish, and of course the seafood. You have the prawns as well. Okay. So you should try that in the coastal part of Bangalore. Or these are the coastal dishes, but they're all available in Bangalore.
Okay.
Yes.
So if my listeners want to find out more about your state, where would they find more information?
More information, you can go to my website, www.karnatakatourism.org.
Okay.
So you can find out anything about all the places and the cuisine and everything about Karnataka and Bangalore.
Okay, great. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
You can contact us or just keep up to date with travel news at facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show.
This is Seclo Sounds, your community radio station. If you'd like to volunteer some of your time and skills with Seclo Sounds, send an email to volunteers@seclosounds.org and let us know how you would like to be involved. MK Flyers Online, the fast and simple way to find any kind of business or service locally. Find us at mkflyersonline.co.uk or download the MK Flyers mobile app from your app store. MK Flyers Online proudly supports Seclo Sounds, community radio for Milton Keynes.
The John Guinn Travel Show. Checking it out before you check in on seclosounds.org.
Hip, hip. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. When you're on a holiday, you can't find the words to say all the things that come
step into the spotlight with me, Lucy, every Wednesday between 6 and 7 p.m. on Seclo Sounds. I'll have new music, the latest entertainment news, and interviews with local bands. If you're in a band, or if you have music that you think I should be playing, I'd love to hear from you. Email me, lucy@seclosounds.org, and join me every Wednesday from 6 till 7 for Spotlight on Seclo Sounds.
You can contact us or just keep up to date with travel news at facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. That was Islands in the Sun. Played it for no other reason. In fact, I hadn't heard it for a while and I really like the track. And I really like the video. If you get a chance, YouTube it. Islands in the Sun is the punk group Weezer are playing with animals basically, and I'm a big animals fan. All the websites mentioned on today's show will be posted at facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. And in terms of news, there's been an awful lot in the travel industry this week, so we're going to start a bit early. So it's now time for some travel news. Going to start off the travel news this week by talking about Ryanair. Ryanair, who they insist are Europe's favourite low-cost airline, unveiled the new Ryanair Business Plus, which is going to offer Europe's business travellers a tailored suite of travel benefits, so they say. With a Ryanair Business Plus, customers can enjoy flexibility on ticket changes, 20 kilogram checked-in baggage allowance, fast-track airport security at selected airports. I've spoken to lots of business people at Luton Airport recently, and they do get a bit frustrated when infrequent travellers are in front of him at security, so getting through fast track security would be a great benefit. Priority boarding and premium seats. Ryanair go on to say that Business Plus is the latest in a long line of customer improvements made by Ryanair, and with more than 25% of its customers travelling on business, Ryanair continues to refine Europe's best business service with the lowest fares, they get that in every time, biggest route network and more city airport routes. And it says that the prices start from just £59.99. Ryanair Business Plus is available to book on Ryanair.com now, and with further information available at www.ryanair.com/en/business-plus. Their spokesperson said that Ryanair is delighted to launch Ryanair's Business Plus, offering business and corporate travellers a tailored package including flexible ticket changes, 20 kilogram bag allowance, fast track at airports, priority boarding and premium seating. The premium seating is generally the seats at the front and the seats at the exit, so you've got a bit more leg room. But although you're flying business, you're paying a bit extra, you still don't get any meals included in the price. So there's still that to do too. But do you fly Ryanair business? Do you fly that way because it saves your company a lot of money? Or do you have no choice? The company is saying you're flying Ryanair, and that's that. Do you think this new Business Plus thing will be useful? Have you in the past, always an awful lot of questions, have you in the past flown business, needed to cancel your ticket and you've lost the whole lot because there's no flexibility? Do you think this will be a great idea? Or just let me know what you think about Ryanair. Facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. When it comes to flying, there are plenty of rules you may not agree with. You may doubt that they're valid rules and they're just there to make life difficult for you. But the rules are there, they have to be followed. So whether or not you agree with all the security rules when you're going through getting your handbag checked or not, doesn't matter. They're set, they're there. You have to follow them. Don't like it, start a political party, become Prime Minister and get them changed. Sorry to be blunt, but that's probably the only way you're going to do it. So all these rules have to be followed, and if they're broken for any reason, there's never really a valid reason to break them, you're going to get in trouble. As two women who flew from Toronto to Cuba found out earlier in the week. Because of their actions ignoring the rules, fighter jets were scrambled to escort the plane back to Toronto. And the reason was two female passengers allegedly put the aircraft under threat, and they put it under threat by ignoring the rules. These women allegedly drank a significant quantity of duty-free alcohol in the cabin toilet and then had a cigarette, which, as you fly, you know there's a smoke detector in there. And this smoke detector was triggered, so they are there, they're not just saying it when the safety briefing. They then allegedly got into a fight, and this threatened the safety of the aircraft, so the pilot decided to turn back. NORAD, N-O-R-A-D, they do a very cool website at Christmas time showing you where Santa is, but anyway, I'm digressing, is the binational organisation that controls the airspace for USA and Canada, then dispatched two Canadian Armed Forces CF-18 fighter jets to escort the plane back to Toronto. They were there dispatched as a precautionary measure. It may seem heavy-handed, but it's good practice, and it does reinforce that the rules are there, you have to follow them. It's the third time in just over 2 years that Sunwing, who were the airline, needed a fighter jet escort. They sound like the airline for Canadian chavs, don't they? According to a report in the Toronto Star, the two women, aged 25 and 26, and there's no way I stand any chance of pronouncing their surnames, they have been charged with smoking on an aircraft, endangering the safety of an aircraft, mischief over $5,000 and mischief endangering life. I'm not sure what that mischief over $5,000 means, but anyway. Mischief endangering life and uttering threats have each been granted a $2,500 bail. And we wait to see what happens to them when it comes back up in court. So anyway, here's my lecture. The rules are there. Follow the rules. Don't ignore the rules. Don't think that anybody who enforces the rules has a sense of humour because they can't have one. They have to enforce these rules. Just do as you're told and go and get to the other end and then have fun once you landed. Have you tried smoking a cigarette on a plane? Have you seen somebody smoke a cigarette while you were flying? What happened to them? Let us all know. Facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. I'm a large chap, and I don't really fit into economy seats when I'm flying, but that's all I can afford. I know. Sob story. So I do have some sympathy for the male passenger in this story. Although I don't think he used the device because he is large, but just because he wanted to work in comfort. It turns out that a £15 gadget may end up costing somebody £15,000. Two passengers in a dispute over a reclining seat caused enough of a problem for the cabin crew that a United Airlines flight from Newark in New York to Denver was forced to land in Chicago. The two passengers were removed and the flight continued on to Denver, where it landed nearly 2 hours late. The cause of the problem was something called a knee defender. It's a lockable device that prevents the seat in front of you reclining past a certain point. It's attached to the tray table, and after lowering the tray table, the man put the knee defender onto the arms of it to start working on his laptop. And it does sound that in this case he prevented the seat reclining at all. So it's adjustable, so it looks like he prevented any such reclining. After refusing requests from a flight attendant to remove the device, which is lockable, the female passenger in the seat affected by this is reported to have stood up and thrown a cup of water at him. One report of this story, which from The Guardian, said that the argument occurred in the United's Economy Plus section, which has 4 more inches of legroom than economy. So that backs up the fact I think it's not because he was too large, he just didn't want the seat coming down when he was working on his laptop. Once removed from the plane, neither passenger was charged or arrested. However, the Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA, who control the airways in the USA, has the authority to impose a £15,000 fine on each passenger because the flight was diverted and forced to make an emergency landing. The web page that advertises the knee defender, www.gadgetduck.com, does carry this warning from the FAA. The US Federal Aviation Administration was asked about the use of the knee defenders. As reported in October 28, 2003 edition of the Washington Post, FAA spokesperson Paul Takemoto said the clips were not against federal aviation rules as long as they weren't used during taxiing, takeoff or landings. Knee defenders are specifically designed to be used with your tray table lowered while your tray table must be up and locked during taxiing, takes-offs and landings. So, as long as knee defenders are being used as they are designed to be used in flight, their use does not violate any US aviation law, rule or regulation. So what does our version of the FAA, the CAA, or Civil Aviation Agency, have to say on the use of knee defenders? I contacted them, and a spokesperson said, "We would agree with the FAA. Seats must be in the upright position for taxi, takeoff and landing, hence the clips cannot be used. Once in the cruise phase, it is up to the individual airlines to decide whether to allow the clips to be used." So it's down to the airlines. So I asked BA and Virgin Atlantic for their take on this. A spokesperson for Virgin Atlantic said, "Although Virgin Atlantic does not have a specific policy on customers reclining their seats during a flight, cabin crew may ask somebody to place their seat in the upright position as a courtesy during meal times, if they see the customer is struggling for space during eating. All of our cabin crew are trained in conflict management, and if any customer's actions or behaviours is unreasonable towards others, then the crew will endeavour to mediate and prevent situations from escalating into a disruptive one. While seat recline can be a cause of disputes on board, common courtesy between customers should prevail." And with BA, they had a more predictable reply because they said their seats are designed to offer maximum comfort to all passengers. Perhaps he hasn't flown in economy. And he went on to say that they recline because that's what our customers tell us they want. He went on to say, "In our experience, disagreements over the recliner seats are rare and are usually resolved amicably." I do suffer, as I said, I'm a big chap when seats recline, and without any warning they just go straight back, and without any care to the fact that the seat is now jammed against my knees. So I am tempted to do the wet sneeze trick. If you've never heard of the wet sneeze trick, it is, you get yourself a glass of water, you dip your fingers in it, you make a very loud sneezing noise, and then sprinkle water on the head of the person in front of you, and that should get them to bring the seat forward. I've never tried it yet. You never know, I'm flying shortly, I may get round to doing it. This was a big story on social media used by travel agents, and basically this isn't PC, but it does show a true reflection on the comments. Men like the idea of preventing a seat reclining, and women would be angry if they were prevented from reclining. I guess it's because they're smaller and don't see the problem large chaps like me suffer with. So what do you think about this? Have you used a knee defender? Do you think seats should be prevented from reclining? Do you think the passengers should, out of courtesy, turn around and ask you first? Let me know, facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. You're listening to the John Guinn Travel Show on seclosounds.org. You're listening to the John Guinn Travel Show on seclosounds.org. Seclo Sounds exists to bring people and communities together to celebrate all that's best about the city of Milton Keynes. We produce a variety of music and speech programs, and you've heard some of the promos in this show, and we're produced by local people and run by over 60 volunteers. However, there's always room for more, so if you have a program idea or a skill that you want to offer, please send us an email to volunteers@seclosounds.org. And of course, as we're all volunteers, we can't operate without the help from our partners, and one such partner is Interaction. Seclo Sounds is based at the old rectory, which is the home of Interaction MK. They've been bringing arts to life in Milton Keynes for over 35 years. They use the arts to improve the life chances of disabled people and others in challenging circumstances through shared creative activity. Their programs help participants to develop creative, personal and social skills. To find out more, please visit them at www.interactionmk.org.uk. You're listening to the John Guinn Travel Show on seclosounds.org. British Airways are offering a new service to people who book direct. And on the outside, without concentrating too much on the story, it does sound like a good deal. So those booking direct can now hold seats for up to 72 hours with a deposit of £5 or £10, depending whether it's short haul or long haul. It was introduced on BA.com a few days ago. However, if you decide not to go with that flight, then you lose your deposit. So you're thinking, well, I've lost £5 or £10, but it's okay. At least I didn't book a ticket for hundreds of pounds and then lose the lot because I couldn't cancel it. Just remember this one thing. If you go to a travel agent or a tour operator, most of them can actually hold the seats for you as an option without any cost or risk to you whatsoever. An option is basically they've kind of booked the seat but they haven't. So your details will go on to the booking, but it's only going to be held for 24, 72, sometimes a week, depending on the tour company and their contracts. Which means you can say, right, okay, I've got that price locked in. Well, nearly locked in, which I'll explain about in a second. You've got it locked in. You can go away, talk to the rest of your travellers to see whether that's the flight they want to take or not, without spending any money. Whereas with the BA.com, you only need one name, but you could lose all the money if all your friends decide, no, we don't want that one. So the options. There is one slight drawback which some sneaky travel companies use to make advantage of this option. That is, if you go and get a quote from somebody, they may hold the flights as an option without telling you. Now, I never did this, but I was warned about certain tour operators who had a habit of doing that when I rung around for quotes. But what this means is, you can't book the seat on that flight because your details are already down as being on that flight. So, if they're being sneaky and they know you're going to start shopping around, they put the options on that flight. You go to somewhere else who are slightly cheaper, and in some cases they can't actually book the seats because you're already down as flying on that flight, and they can't have two people, one person flying with two seats, if that makes sense. So, if you're not sure whether you want to fly or not, and you want to do a BA route, you could either go to BA.com, get the flight slightly cheaper because you're going direct and you won't have any protection other than your credit card, and possibly risk £5 to £10 per person. Or you can go to a travel agent and a tour operator, get the same service for nothing, get the seats held while you're going back and make your mind up. But do be careful that sometimes a unscrupulous travel person might hold an option without letting you know. So if you are ringing around for prices, don't give your full name details so they can't book the seats in your name, as an option without telling you. But if you are genuine, want to go on that flight and you just want to go back and talk to people, make a use of the option. No risk, no cost. And even if you don't go back to the travel company, they automatically cease if they're not booked. So you've got a 24-hour option. You can't ring back to the travel company. Don't worry, it just automatically delete. So, long-winded way of saying that BA have got a new service costing £5 to £10 per person to hold a seat for 72 hours. This £5 to £10 is refunded if you book the seat, but if you don't book the seat, you lose it. Or you could just do it the old-fashioned way, see a travel professional, and they can do the same thing for you for nothing. Iceland, with its volcanoes, has been in the news a lot in the last 7 days about the volcano that's going to erupt, it's not going to erupt, it's going to erupt, it's not going to erupt. At the time of recording this, still not too sure what's going to happen. Is it going to be as bad as the one a few years ago, which closed down airspace? Or is it just going to gently peter out? Because of obviously the effect of closing the airspace had all those years ago, everybody's getting really panicky about this one because they want to make sure this doesn't happen again. And as I say, they keep going up, the alerts keep changing day by day as they try and second guess what Mother Nature's going to do. But there has been some airspace closure near the volcano. Icelandic air traffic control has closed bits of airspace around the island. So, you never know, it may just affect the people who are going to Iceland and not the people who are travelling elsewhere. So there's not much to say about this apart from the fact that nobody knows what's going to happen. And by the time you hear this, maybe it has erupted and maybe airspace has closed, or maybe it's just died. But I just wanted to update you about the volcanic activity in Iceland, and the update is nobody really knows. You're listening to the John Guinn Travel Show on seclosounds.org. Well, we've come to the end of this week's travel show. If you've been wondering what all the extra noises have been in the background during various parts of the show, it's basically my mobile phone, because I forgot to put it on silent when I was using it to make the Skype call to Berlin. My neighbours are having a party while I record this, and it looks like one of my other neighbours has got a new motorbike who's been going up and down the road. Well, I just hope they've added to your enjoyment of the show. The show which I covered Berlin for the short break, and Karnataka for somebody who wants to experience something different when they're in India. As I say, do visit the website and have a look about what Karnataka's got to offer. It's definitely up there on my list of places to go. And I covered travel news, which were basically about passengers misbehaving on airplanes and the flights being delayed. To warn you that you don't misbehave, you just follow the rules. Whether you agree with them or not, you can't get round them, so just do as you're told. Ryanair, who've got a new business class, well, not business class, a new business service where you can be more flexible with the changing the flight times, but it costs you a little bit more. But you do get the leg room seats that are available on a Ryanair flight. Icelandic volcanoes, we still don't know what's going to happen. If you've been to Berlin or Karnataka and you want to share your photos or your stories or your tips, facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. And likewise, if you've been on a flight which has been diverted because of somebody misbehaving, or maybe you were the person who misbehaved, facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show, and let us know what happened. And hopefully you better join me next time on the travel show with John Guinn on seclosounds.org, where each week I'm checking it out before you check in.
Take it hip to hip, rocking through the wilderness.
MK Pulse proudly sponsors Seclo Sounds. MK Pulse is Milton Keynes' local magazine, bringing helpful information on food, health, fashion, money, travel, culture, and much more to 66,000 readers every month. Plus news, views, and what's on from around the city. If it's happening in Milton Keynes, it's in MK Pulse, and it's available online at www.mkpulse.co.uk. MK Pulse and Seclo Sounds, the heart and soul of the city.